Welcome to my channel. Subscribe, listen, and enjoy my stories every day. The morning light spills softly across the varnished oak floor of our cottage, nestled at the edge of the sprawling, whispering woods. Lila, with her untamable brunette curls, slips on her boots, her brow furrowed in that familiar, focused way that precedes her riding excursions. "I'll be back by sunset," she says, a quick peck on my cheek as her only goodbye. The door clicks shut, leaving a faint echo in her wake. I stand by the window, coffee in hand, watching her figure disappear into the thicket. The woods, an endless source of inspiration for her, harbor secrets she seeks to translate onto paper. Her new book project about nature and its denizens seemed fitting given her passion for the wild. Yet, despite the serene morning, a nagging curiosity itches at the back of my mind. Days morph into routine. Lila writes in her study, the door always firmly shut, her thoughts a maze I no longer traverse. Our conversations, once vibrant and filled with shared dreams, now tread only on the surface of mundane pleasantries. One particularly gray afternoon, as rain patters a lonely rhythm against the windows, curiosity overcomes me. Lila's at a writer's retreat, supposedly gathering more material, her study left untouched and locked. I find the spare key hidden in a ceramic vase above the fireplace, a place I've seen her reach into more times than I care to admit. The key turns with a soft click, and I step into a realm distinctly hers. The air is thick with the scent of pine and old books. Her desk is cluttered with notes scrawled on paper, pens scattered like fallen soldiers. I approach it, hands trembling slightly. And there it is, lying innocently atop a pile of notebooks, a manuscript titled 101 Dates. My breath catches as I flip through the pages, each chapter detailing not just meetings with nature but clandestine encounters, whispered promises, passion stolen in the shadows of our life together. The descriptions are vivid, painfully detailed, and unmistakably real. A maelstrom of emotions whirls inside me, betrayal, disbelief, anger. The woman I thought I knew, the woman I loved, had embraced the thrill of deception while I remained ensnared in trust. I closed the manuscript, my decision crystallizing with each thunderous heartbeat. Lila had her secrets, and now, I would craft my own. My plan begins to take shape, fueled by the swirling chaos of betrayal. If her life was a book, I was going to write the ending. The rain ceases, leaving a silence that pounds louder than any storm. I leave the study, locking the door behind me, the manuscript back on her desk, untouched yet screaming its truths. I step outside, the fresh air a stark contrast to the suffocation of hidden lies. The woods beckon, a witness to the unraveling of my life and soon, the architect of her undoing. As I walk, the plot for my revenge unfurls, each step a line in the story I'm about to write, a story that would shatter her world as mine was shattered today. As the week edges towards its close, the chill of autumn creeps through the village, whispering of change. Lila remains secluded at her retreat, her presence in our home now just an echo. Determined to gather allies in my quest for retribution, I decide to visit an old friend who might help unravel more threads of Lila's secret life. I find myself outside the rustic pub in the heart of our little village. The sign above creaks as I push open the heavy wooden door, stepping into the dimly lit warmth. Inside, the familiar hum of low conversations and the clink of glasses greet me. "Jack." The voice booms over the din, a hearty, robust call from Sam, the pub's owner and a friend since childhood. His broad frame moves through the crowd with surprising grace for a man of his size. "Sam," I greet him with a forced smile as he claps a heavy hand on my back, guiding me to a quieter corner of the bar. "Need to talk to you, in private." His bushy eyebrows raise in mild surprise but he nods, signaling for a couple of beers. Once we're settled, the frothy drinks in hand, I lean in. "It's about Lila." Sam's expression shifts, the joviality fading into concern. "Everything all right at home?" "Not exactly." I pause, gauging his reaction as I continue. "Did Lila ever mention any special projects she's working on?" Perhaps during her visits here. He scratches his beard, thinking. Not much, mate. She's always been secretive, you know that. But there were a few times she met with some folks here. Never the same face twice. Men. I probe, the word like vinegar on my tongue. Yeah, mostly. Seemed professional at first, but then I wasn't so sure. They were too cozy. The confirmation slices deeper than expected. I found her manuscript, Sam. It's not just a book about nature. Understanding dawns on him, his features tightening. What do you need? I need to know who they were. Anything you remember might help. Sam nods solemnly, pulling out his phone. I'll ask around, discreetly. You're not planning anything rash, are you? No, just justice. We spend the next hour poring over details, Sam recalling dates and times while I note everything. As we part, the weight of the task ahead settles like lead in my stomach. But there's no turning back. The drive home is shrouded in twilight, the fading light mirroring the darkness burgeoning within me. Each revelation from Sam adds fuel to the fire of my resolve. Lila's web of deceit is vast, but I am determined to unravel it. At home, I sit in the quiet, surrounded by memories tainted with betrayal. The phone rings, shattering the silence. It's Sam. Jack, one of them's in town tonight. At the pub, right now. Blood rushing in my ears, I grab my keys. Keep him there. I'm coming. The night air is crisp as I speed back to the pub. Inside, my eyes immediately lock on a stranger nursing a drink, his features unfamiliar yet unmistakably one of hers. Can we talk? I ask, standing over him, my voice steady despite the storm raging inside. He looks up, wary but curious. About? About Lila, and what you really know about her projects. His eyes narrow, a flicker of recognition, or is it guilt, passing through them? The game is on, and I am playing for keeps. The stranger's gaze meets mine, sharp and calculating. The pub's background noise dims as our standoff draws a bubble around us. I slide into the seat opposite him, my mind racing with questions and the faint hope that this might just be a misunderstanding. You know my wife, Lila. I begin, my voice more controlled than I feel. He hesitates, then nods slightly. Lila, yes. We've met a few times. His admission stirs a mix of anger and anticipation in me. I found her manuscript. 101 dates. Ring any bells? The color drains from his face, confirming my suspicions before he even speaks. I thought it was just a creative project, he stutters, avoiding my eyes. Creative? I scoff, leaning forward. Meeting up with married woman, and it's just creative? He sighs, a resigned slump to his shoulders. Look, I didn't know about you at first. She said she was exploring human connections, for her book. It sounded innocent enough, until it wasn't. His words ignite a fury in me, but I tamp it down. I need information, not a brawl. Who else is involved in this project? He rubs his forehead, looking genuinely troubled. I don't know everyone. There were a few of us, though. Met her at different places, talked about life, philosophy, experiences. She wrote everything down. Did she talk about me? The question burns in my throat. Only in passing, and never anything bad, he rushes to assure me. It was all about understanding different perspectives. At least, that's what she told us. I study him, trying to gauge his honesty. And you believed her? For a while, yes, he admits. Until I realized the meetings were more for her personal adventure than any book. I ended things. I didn't sign up to hurt anyone. His confession doesn't soothe the sting, but it fuels a bitter understanding. Lila wasn't just writing, she was living her manuscript. Do you have anything that can prove this? Messages, emails? I ask, my mind shifting to evidence. He nods, pulling out his phone. I can show you the emails. As he scrolls through his phone, showing me emails that confirm the meetings and some veiled references to their encounters, my plan begins to solidify. This is more than just personal betrayal, it's a web of lies that she's documented under the guise of literary pursuit. Can you forward those to me? I ask, my voice steady despite the turmoil inside. Sure, I can do that. But what are you going to do? There's a hint of concern in his voice. I'm not sure yet, but I need to stop this. Before more lives are tangled up in her research. My words taste bitter as I say them. He nods, understanding the gravity of the situation, and sends the emails to me. I'm sorry for any part one played in this, he adds, his tone earnest. Thanks for your honesty, I reply, though I feel no gratitude. Only a deep, searing resolve to end this charade. Leaving the pub, the cool night air feels like a slap against my flushed skin. The drive home is a blur of streetlights and shadows, each mile a tightening coil of resolve and rage. At home, I sit in the dark living room, the glow of my laptop the only light. Opening a new file, I begin to compile everything, emails, dates, names. Lila's return is soon, and with it, the confrontation I can no longer avoid. Tonight's revelations have only added depth to the abyss between us, and I am ready to drag the truth into the light. The house is silent, suffused with the kind of quiet that amplifies every small sound into a proclamation. The ticking of the wall clock in the kitchen, the occasional rustle of leaves outside, they all sound like an audience holding its breath. I sit in the dim glow of the study, the dossier of evidence laid out before me, a testament to Lila's betrayal. It's late when I hear the car pull into the driveway. My pulse quickens. The moment of reckoning has arrived. I stand up, steadying myself against the desk, and wait for her to come inside. The door opens, and she calls out, a note of cheer in her voice that grates against my nerves. Jack, I'm home. I don't answer. Instead, I watch as her silhouette pauses in the hallway, sensing the change in the atmosphere. She steps into the study, her face shifting from joy to confusion to concern at the sight of the papers spread out. Jack, what is this? Sit down, Lila, I say, my voice more a command than a request. She obeys, her eyes never leaving my face. I found your manuscript, I begin, the words heavy in the air between us. Her expression falters, guilt flashing momentarily before she masks it. Jack, It's not just about the book, though, is it? It's about the lies, the deceit. The people you've met, the things you've done. I throw down a printout of the emails. Explain this. She takes a deep breath, her hands clasping and unclasping in her lap. I was going to tell you, in my own way, through the book. It started as a project. A project? I interrupt, incredulous. Yes, but it became more than that. It became a way to explore, to understand different aspects of myself. Her voice is calm, too calm. You weren't supposed to find out like this. By deceit? By betrayal? I step closer, my voice rising. And the people in the emails? They were part of the journey. I was lost, Jack. I thought I could find myself in the stories of others. I stare at her, the woman I married, now a stranger weaving tales of justification. And did you find yourself? She meets my gaze, and for a moment, I see the vulnerability she's tried to hide. No. I found out how much I'd lose. I let out a humorless laugh. And what did you lose, Lila? Us, Jack. I lost us. Tears brim in her eyes, but I feel too hollow to comfort her. I turn away, looking at the manuscript, 101 dates. My next words are colder than I intend. I want a divorce, Lila. I can't live with a stranger. She stands abruptly, her chair scraping against the wood. You're right. But before you decide, there's something you should see. She reaches into her bag, pulling out a small, worn notebook, and hands it to me. Curious despite myself, I open it. Inside, amidst her neat handwriting, are dates and descriptions, but not of romantic encounters. They're her feelings, her doubts about our marriage, her fear of telling me the truth. It's a diary of her inner turmoil, not an account of infidelities. I look up, confused. What is this? It's the truth, Jack. The other book, it was a smokescreen, a way to channel my fears into something tangible. I never cheated on you, not in the way you think. I stagger back, the room spinning. But the emails, the meetings. Therapy, Jack. Group therapy sessions. The dates were sessions. I couldn't tell you. I was ashamed. The revelation hits me like a tidal wave, washing over the anger and leaving a deep, aching sadness in its wake. Why didn't you just tell me? I thought you'd see me as broken. I wanted to fix myself first. We stand in the chasm of our unraveled lives, the silence enveloping us. Finally, I speak, my voice cracking. Can we fix this, Lila? Is there anything left to save? She steps forward, her hand reaching for mine. I don't know, Jack. But I'd like to try, if you can forgive me. As I clasp her hand, the manuscript forgotten on the table, I realize that perhaps the story isn't over just yet. There might be a chance for a new chapter, one written together, in honesty and hopeful redemption.